Good morning everybody. My name Poppy Marlina Samosir, NPM 2032140006, Prodi Akuntansi, Jurnal Akuntansi dan Keuangan Indonesia. The inclusion of auditor, professional, skip and competition on fraud detection, the role of time budget pressure. Abstract. This study aims to examine the moderating effect of time budget pressure on the inclusion of the independent auditorial professional skipping and competition on fraud detection. This study as a survey approach in the form on a current file by 1003 external auditorials in Jakarta as respondent. The results indicate that in auditorial have a high level professional skipment and competition, then the probability of fraud that will be detected is also high. For time budget pressure cannot moderate the inclusion of auditorial competence on fraud detection. This means that no matter how tight the time budget pressure that is fetched by auditorial, as long as they have completed the detection of fraud by the auditorial is still possible. So further, the result also show that auditorial who have high professional skill cannot detect fraud in there is a time budget pressure. The result of expanded to prove in input to auditorial that they need to give more attention and comparative to the time budget examine than seeing the trap with the client. Interruption. The growth of business in Indonesia make a higher need for a auditorial accessibility. The external auditorial. The external auditorial has a great responsibility and obligation to provide assurance to us of financial statements and investor criteria and other, that the financial statements they reveal are incomplete with applicable standard and prevail and are brought to the actual state of the activity. A material misstatement in financial statement is very like and regularly happens. Big statement which is asked by the original act is that category has an error. Meanwhile, even international acts as a mismatch is a category as a fraud. The auditor is responsible for collection offended to determine whether the financial statements are free from mistake, due error to due fraud detection fraud in this clause. Professional skill must be owned by auditor in their examination to avoid an audit finding. Tuanta mentioned that of professional statement those auditorial sensitive to front, real or potential, are the red flags that indicate an error, accounting error, and a fraud. Auditorial competition also plays an important role in the detection of fraud. Auditorial competition is obligatory non-formal education, certification, training, and client competition audit experience. Yusrianti stated that knows an example an import competition of the audit takes, so it's so not surprising that the way the noted auditorial and expense auditorial with in response to information to be asked in consolidation or for assessment always auditorial noise as clues of the client business industry, how to conduct audit planning, develop an effective audit program, and analyzing potential fraud conditions. The audit might not be too able to detect fraud in the auditorial. Literature review and hypothesis development. Independent auditorial to reference to acceptable public accounts according to Law 2-5 of 2011 of public accounting in a person who has applied permission to provide service as stipulated in the law. Service provided by public account result audit service to historical financial information review service on the historical financial account may provide other service related to accounting, financial and management follow the provision of declaration. Mention that two statements made by management and request testing and then test and only within independent party that is independent auditorial that it can be conducted as applied permission to provide audit service, review and other action refers to a result of management from community by management by making financial statement made by management more reliable. Definition of fraud international standard on auditing defines fraud as fraud and indication as by one or more individual management organ of the government, employees or third parties, and following the as the described to oblige in unjust or illegal advance. The emblems of the word from here can be seen in the word international action, which means that fraud instance and independent action was meeting in the statement or auditing standard. The implement auditor is responsible for the flaw or material misstatement either caused by error or fraud. The main actor that describes fraud on error is underlying action where there is a clear fraud and the action is done by action is called the risk or human error. Cause of fraud rated based on the competition international point of view drawn across from the reality of war. This prevalence is not usual. Text science disability is acknowledged as unable case now to be under pursuit, so the sea continues to spread because security is conditioned to expand or correct by loyal. Also, that from that triangle model developed by Ronald R. Creasy can also be an answer to the question of how to occur. Until now, this model is still often as a classic model to explain friend Edward action with a competition. Fraud detection by auditorial. According to Valery, detection fraud is the equivalent to a place of fraud indication of the act held as a will as to narrow the space for the prevention of fraud. The perfect of casing are often referred to as fraudulent. In detection fraud, the auditor must first understand the symptoms, character, and ways to fight the fraud. The delay in detection fraud may cause great disturbance is reason launching during the period of the trap. The period of the fraud. The auditorial sound be able to recount and segment and the grain of fraud means that can us to detect fraud among other by using signal, the legs and the simple from Christian and Novitisari said that tracks but competition genome that requires more. Prevention of fraud occurrence. According to Tridayanti, 2008, raising of fraud can be due by frauding and manifestation, mental or moral implement to always to harness, describe, frighten, action and that thinking and building and offering an effective international control system like in education. Editing with love is also an proof that the brave front case in financial report and transportation company in the safe and which flew under the hunting informant and verification time budget pressure. In the audit engagement between the auditorial and the client there and also at the time of agreement agree between two parties. The complex scope of the audit tends to take too longer than the scope of the simple audit. After with the scope of a competition and the auditorial are gave limited time to perform that audit example comes to several factors. For example, because the client company certain demands where the report made by auditorial will be taken into the comparative and make the necessary description as soon as possible. This will cause the description in the picture and time deadline picture. innovative 2007 time budget prices in the examine the accurate time budget, while the deadline a second 2010 days double the picture will unveil after the audit performance and detection and the method influence of professional statement on fraud detection. According to Ilhaz 2020, skepticism means being hesitant about statements that have not been suffered strong in the contention basic in proof. Statement of auditorial professional is assessment and play a vital role if auditorial audit the client company with applying professional statement and auditorial will one franchise will usually be handled by the preferred statement. The auditorial stern gain evidence that the management assurance in the court so according to Agriani 2014, Serikandi 2015, and Simanjuntak 2015. Professional statement has a profit can be also be. Conclusion. This study aims to example to a friend of professional statement and auditorial competence on fraud detection. The reason also happened the moderating advance of time budget based on the relationship. The result of the study in the professional statement as positive effect on the descriptive upfront, which means that the high professional statement. The result also show that time budget preferred works the effect to professional statement or description. The hacker manual time budget brief as an industrial competition on fraud detection. Referensi 1. Average 2014 professional statement of auditor and scope of front financial reporting. 2. Journal of Accounting and Management Anggriani 2014. 3. Pengaruh pengalaman kerja statement profesional dan tekanan waktu terhadap kemampuan auditorial dalam mendeteksi fraud study example pada kantor. 4. Nominal period recent accounting and management. 5. Symbol 14 2015 change friend auditorial detection financial statement accounting. Demikianlah hasil dari presentasi saya ucapkan thank you. Good morning everybody, my name is Poppy Marlena Samosir, NPM 2321140006, Prodi Akuntansi. Jurnal Accounting and Keuangan Indonesia. The inclusive of auditorial professional statement and competition on fraud detection. The role of time budget pricing. Abstract. This study to examine to moderating effect of time budget price on the inclusive of the independent auditorial professional statement and computation on fraud detection. This study as a survey approach in the form of a question file Auditor'S Jakarta as respondent. The result independent of the audit have a level professional, statement and competence, then probability of fraud that will detect and hide. Industrial. The ground of business in Indonesia make a hectare net for an auditorial. Expand auditorial. The external auditorial has a great responsibility and obligation to provide assurance to our financial statement as an investor, creditor, and other that the financial statement the risk in the from with application standard. A material mixing in financial statement is very like an frank happiness statement with its cost based the conditional at this criteria and error. Professional statement must be owned by editorial in depth statement to affirm by audit firm mentors. Auditorial competition also play an important role in the know from education, certification, training, and client to complete audit expense. Auditorial knows the enclosed knows of the client business industry, how to conduct audit planning, deploy audit program, and analyzing protein from condition. Literature review and paper development. Independent auditor in the prompt audit are referred to as public accountant. According to law, a public account in the person who has account proven to prove service and statement in the law. Service provided by public accounting bureau audit service to historical financial information. Review service in historical financial information and other assurance service. In indication to this service, public accounting may prove owner service real to accounting, financial, and management flowing in the proof of delegation. Definition of fraud international standard or auditing defense fraud a flow and international act by one or more individual management organ of government employees or their species flowing as declaration to abort to illegal advance. The impend defined as the international is meant from in the doc in the example statement on auditing standard. Cost of fraud occurrence based on the competence international point of view thrown out from the responsibility for in the prevent is not the actual text sense disflown in and the following cause not to in the listen continues because security in condorant to expense or deflown by liability. Also, the front trick model developed by Ronald Archer's can also be an answer to question of how fraud can occur. Fraud detection by auditorial. According to fraud detection fraud in the and the example and indication healthy as we tuner speaks on the front. The professional and acting are often to effort in the thing from on auditorial. time budget breach in the auditing engagement between the auditor and the client. There is always a threat of agreement agreeing between two parties. Competition scope of audited to take long and the audit conclusion. This study aims to examine to referring to professional, statement and auditorial competition in the fraud detection. This research also to the of study independent professional statement as a positive event on statement to hack to detection of fraud. From the auditorial competition also a positive influence the fraud detection with in professional statement. Referensi 1. Professional statement of audit and risk of from financial reporting. 2. Journal of Accounting and Management, Anggriani, 2014. 3. Pengaruh pengalaman kerja statement profesional dan tekanan waktu terhadap kemampuan auditor dalam mendeteksi fraud. 4. Akuntan publik, nominal breaching accounting and management. Demikianlah hasil presentasi saya ucapkan thank you.